Hello and welcome again to another episode of Battle Ready.
Ready.
And today, we're getting close. We're getting close to Christmas time when this episode goes live. It's going to be just after Thanksgiving, so it's time to think about what we want for Christmas. Drake, any models on your Christmas list? Anything you're asking Santa for?
Golf rocker.
You really like the golf rocker? Why do you like it?
He looks so cool.
Even though he's a 40K thing, what do you want? What do you want him for?
Maybe or maybe not, so I can recreate the music thing. Maybe using animation. Maybe.
Oh, you want to
recreate it?
Do the same thing that from the Warhammer music video. All right. What about building and painting him?
I played the fifth on that one.
Yeah. So you want me to? Well, I'm not painting him. So if you want him painted,
I will paint him.
Okay.
He looks
all right.
So cool.
I think I want ogres mostly. I have
some.
Yeah. I want a whole army worth. So
yeah, it's almost a whole. If you shoved Kragnos in there, maybe
it would not be enough. That's just a start collecting box.
Oh.
But with the Vanguard and a couple of other items, hopefully we'll be able to have a cool little ogre force. That'll be fun for the new year.
Our ABCs.
Always be charging. But we also thought we'd talk about the Age of Sigmar Battleforce boxes. So these come out every
Christmas
time. And
I don't know what they are. I'm just looking away.
Yeah, we're going to do a Drake react on these.
Again.
And
we need to do a dad react.
Generally, they give you a lot of models for a pretty good discount.
I'm just doing this so I don't see the...
You're okay. You're okay.
Okay.
A lot of models for a pretty good discount. And they're often pretty good if you want to start a force or if you're looking to pick up some additional things for a force that you have. So we thought we'd go through them. In the past couple of years, they've done 4 boxes for Age of Sigmar, but this year they did 7. So that's pretty cool. It means AOS is getting a little more support, and that means that's a couple extra factions that are going to get battle forces, right?
Maybe no longer just dads are playing the game.
Maybe. So we thought we'd go through them and see what we have. So Drake, the first one is the Cainite Slaughter Coven.
Ooh.
So this is Daughters of Cain.
We have that one.
Yeah, you get yourself a Blood Cauldron, 5 Snaky Girls, which you can build as shooters or stabbers. 5 Doomfires, and then 10 Sisters of Slaughter, but you can build them as Witch Elves, and then 5 Canary. Okay. So what do you think of that one?
I think that's pretty good if you're starting, but we have all of those models. For us, it's useless.
Yeah.
We just can't copy the models.
I mean, I feel like this would be a good... I mean, if you're just starting out, this is pretty good.
Yep.
It's unfortunate that the Doomfires are in there. They're just not as good as I want them to be, and I've used plenty of Doomfires. But I could use more Sisters, and I wouldn't mind another Blood Cauldron if we wanted to make like a 2 Blood Cauldron list, or maybe I could make the Snake Girl one, the Blood Rack Medusa, whatever that's called. So that's cool. Rack Shrine. But the extra, I definitely don't need any more Kennerai.
You have already 10.
I've got 10, and that's already too many. That's
really
they're just not that good. Snake ladies are okay. I like the snake ladies. I could use more snake ladies, in fact.
Oh, the snakes. That's
a lot of stuff that's just sort of for me in the box. Now, if you're getting into Daughters of Cain, this is not a bad base. It's not a bad base, and so if you're new to the army, this might be something you'd think about. All right, next one.
There's 26 bases in that one.
The Crew Boys Swamp Lurkers.
So wait, you just get Gobsprak for that?
You get that. You get Gobsprak, or it could be a Kiloboss and Corpse Ripper Vulture.
You just get Gobsprak.
You get a Swamp Boss Scum Drek, or a Snatch a Beast.
Okay.
You get 10 Rippas, and you get 3 Bolt Boys.
That's so good.
You know what? So if this is another one, if you don't have any Swamp Cruel Boys, or if you only have the Dominion box, this is not bad, right? This is going to give you another thing of Gut Rippas, which you'll want. It's going to give you a few more Bolt Boys, including the Bolt Boy boss. It's going to give you a couple of big monsters, which are good. But for us, we already have Gobsprak, and I'm not looking for a Kiloboss and Corpse Ripper Vulture. We already have the Snatch-a-Boss.
We could get.
We already have as many shoot of boys is really I want.
I mean, we
The
could
only
get
thing
2
in here-
units.
The only thing in here, yeah, we can have 2 units of 6, but I
That's
don't know
a
if
lot.
I really want that.
That's a lot of. I do. I want that.
Sure.
I
The
do.
only thing in here that I like is the gut rippers because I feel like you need gut rippers. It's the only
Good.
battle line really in the.
You
whole
have to
thing.
play Big Gillis to get second battle line.
So, well, you could do Hobgrots too, but that's a whole different thing. But so for this one, I don't know if you've been on the fence about Cruel Boys, and
Fence.
maybe you have the Dominion set, and you've got some Cruel Boys from that, and you just haven't really done anything with them. Matching it up with this is pretty good. But if you already have Cruel Boys, or I should say, if you already have the monsters, this is not that good. This is just not that good because I don't know that you would want to snatch a bosses. I don't know that you would want to
Gobstrax.
we can't have 2 Gobstracks, but 2 Corpse Ripper Vultures. I don't know that you would want to. So that's a lot of extra plastic you're getting for that's either you're not using or it's not going to be part of the deal or you're paying too much for. So this one I think is probably
Best for newer.
the biggest pass. And if you if you want to get into Cruel Boys, I would recommend buying this and a box of Dominion.
Isn't Dominion sold out?
Oh no, they're everywhere.
Oh.
They're everywhere. Dominions. So right before the AOS 3.0, Indominus, which was 40K's 9.0 came out, and it sold out like immediately. They made a bunch of them, sold out completely. Then they had a whole thing where they said, all right, we're going to reopen it and make a bunch more, which Games Workshop never does, and says, we'll do made to order. Anybody who opens up in this orders in this window, we'll make more of it for you because it was so popular. So the next year, when Age of Sigmar came out, they're like, oh man, whether it's COVID or whatever, people are buying these things like hotcakes. We're going to make 1 million of them. And they made too many, which is good because you can get it for cheap now. There's some good units in there. But if you had the Orc side of Dominion and this, that would actually be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty good. You could sort of fill in some things, maybe another thing of Bolt Boys or maybe even more Gut Rippers, but you'd have some good stuff here. All right, next.
Yes.
The Stampeding Squigalanch.
Squigalanch.
So this is all the squigs.
All the squigs that could ever squig.
You've got Loon Boss on Squig, Squig Herd, 2 Manglers, which you can build as Manglers or Loon Boss on Manglers.
Oh, 3 Manglers
and
just
then
running
10
around.
Hoppers.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Or you could do 2 units of 5 Wingrots.
Yeah, not that bad.
So this, I think, is actually pretty good. I'm a little sad to see the Squig Herd in there because the Squig Herd are not good.
They're done.
Except you were mentioning before about maybe reinforcing your Squig Herd.
Yeah.
So that instead of 12, you had 24.
That might be
And
actually useful.
Would allow us to do that, right? So
We'd
we
also
have
get extra
24.
Manglers, which is cool.
This one, I think, is pretty tempting.
Mm-hmm. Get it.
And the other thing that's sort of nice about it is it's all squigs.
All the squigs.
So if you want to go squigs,
Squigs.
there you go.
Squigalanch.
In the past, especially with Start Collecting stuff, they've done a bunch of squigs and then thrown a couple of trolls in there or something. And it's like, well, trolls are cool.
Mm.
I like trolls. But if you wanted to go all squigs, you might not want those trolls.
Mm.
So this is going to be the all squig list. I think having 2 Manglers in there is pretty cool. Plus, you're going to get, 12, 22, 23, 24, 25 miniatures. It's a pretty good deal.
And a lot of squigs.
If you don't have squigs, they're very flavorful, fun expressions, fun to paint. Well, for people who like painting. And yeah, so this one is pretty tempting. I don't know that we'll get it, but it is. There's only 2 that really tempt me, and this is one of them.
Get us.
All right, next we have the Verminous Host.
Oh, I
This is
thought
all
those were trolls for a
Skaven.
second.
Those are rat ogres. So you have, this is 85 miniatures.
No.
You get 40 plague monks, 40 clan rats, a Grey Seer on Screaming Bell, although that can be built as a warp lightning cannon or something, I forget.
Mm-hmm.
You have a Warlock Bombardier, and you have 3 rat ogres. This is pretty cool. You get a lot of models. If you're looking at Skaven, this might be it. Now, I actually was super excited when I saw Skaven the first time because I thought, oh, you know what? I'm not super into Skaven, but
all the rats.
if I was gonna get into Skaven, I don't want to buy 1 box of clan rats at a time until I finally get enough for an army. There's a million of them, right?
Mm.
And this would give you 85. That's a big boost to your Skaven army.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that made me
Not want it?
a little bit hesitant on it is, first of all, this isn't very many points. So you still need to get a lot on top of this. And second
It's a
of
good
all,
start.
you've got normal stuff, you've got Master Clan, you've got Scryer, you've got what's the Nurgly one called? The Plague one.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got all kinds of different clans. And the way the new Skaven book is set up is you can do a little of everything, or you can sort of deep dive into one master clan, or not master clan, but one of the major clans. And this gives you a smattering of everything. And I feel like, well, that's probably not the way that I would want to build my Skaven army.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, this is it's not the way I want to go. Now, if you want a lot of models to paint, if you think just building them up and painting them is the fun of the hobby, and actually putting them on the table and making pew pew noises with them
Pew, pew,
is
pew.
not your favorite, then this is amazing. It's 85 miniatures. You will have all the fun if that's what you find fun.
I feel like this and Character are the most sci-fi army. Look at that.
Oh yeah,
Look
they
at
definitely the Scryer, that clan is like the sci-fi clan. Yeah, for sure.
But they're us all nerds.
So yeah, I can't bring myself to like this one, but just for the amount of stuff is pretty cool.
No, steal their presents. No. Oh, Night Hunt.
Right. Next is the Legion of Grief. This is Night Hunt. So you get a black coach, which is cool.
Death Laser.
You get Lady Olander.
Hey!
Cool.
The Olander.
Then you get 3 groups of 10. You get 10 Bladegeist Revenants, 10 Dread Scythe Harridans,
Hey!
and 10 Bell people. What are the Bell people called?
Grimwraith Reapers.
Grim Wraith? Grimghast.
Grimghast.
Trying to make fun of me.
Nah.
So you get 10 Reapers. This is pretty good. This, if you wanted a base, it's pretty good.
We could get a second Linder.
Also, if you don't have a Linder or the coach, this is pretty good, because I feel like
Death Laser.
get all 3 of these guys. Grimghasts aren't bad. Dread Scythes can be great, and Bladegeists are good. So all 3 of those are good. So it gives you 3 different sort of infantry options, which are pretty cool.
We could throw them in
The only thing for us is we already have Olander and the Black Coach. And the Black Coach is like $100 by itself. So that would be like, eating into all of the savings if we were to buy this one. So this isn't for us.
But it's cool.
If you don't have those 2 models, I think this could be a good deal for all those things. And the Black Coach is pretty cool. It's pretty fun. It might not be the most elite competitive thing, but it's pretty fun to run around the table and zap people with it.
This is the one thing I don't feel like works well. It's just all dark and grim, and then just little pets of bright, sunny glitter.
Bright sunny glitter.
Like it's all nice and like
That's
happy.
Just the logo.
Yeah,
That's just the
and
logo.
then it's just.
So the other thing, one point to make is in the Night Hunt book, there's the Scarlet Doom, which really likes
These
Bladegeists, but doesn't really care about the other 2. And then there's the
Quicksilver Dead,
Quicksilver Dead,
which loves Harridans.
but it doesn't really care about the other 2. So if you want to go into those factions, you're sort of getting some fluff. But if you were going to do Legion of Grief or whatever the 4th one is, Emerald Host, then you could make use of any of these. So depending on what you want to do, this may be good for you.
Yeah.
All right,
Hey!
the Sylvaneth, the Revenant Wargrove.
You just get 3 big trees.
You get Drycha, 2 Tree Lords.
Wait,
10
Drycha's a named model?
That's the lady in the middle there. 10 Spite Revenants, which can also be built as Tree Revenants, and 16, strange number, Dryads. I think Dryads come in 10s, so I'm not sure why we got 16. But so aside from that weird number, you do get a lot of models. You get a lot of good tree models, including several Tree Lords, which is sort of cool.
Angry Christmas trees.
Yeah. It's hard for me to opine on this one a little bit because I don't like the Sylvaneth. And not that I don't like the way they play, because I've never played them. I don't like the look. They don't capture me. And I've only ever read one lore story involving the Sylvaneth. Actually 2. And one of them was was pretty dumb. And the other one was okay, but it's also because it was Slanesh based, and I love the Slanesh stories. So, I'm giving it an on this one.
We get to see.
It's not the one. The last one, though, is the one that is the most tempting to me, and that is the Thunderstrike Spearhead. This is the Stormcast.
You get that guy.
A lot of good models. So you do get a Knight Relictor, which is not good. So you have to just put him to the side.
You get the wagons.
But you get 2 dragons, one of which can be built as the leader, right?
So you just get one
random. 3 Annihilators.
Grand Hammer buildable.
You could get, and then you get 10 Vanquishers and 10 Vigilers.
Mm-hmm.
Both of which, I think the shooty ones, which ones are the shooty ones? I think the Vigilers are the shooty ones.
These guys are the shooty boys.
I know, I just don't know if those are the Vanquishers or the Vigilers.
Those are the Vigilers. Vanquishers are the Swordmen.
Okay. Well, whichever one is the shooty one can be battle line. The swordy ones are battle line no matter what. So that gives you a bunch of different options. And getting 10 means you can have you can break them up into 2 5-man units, or you can reinforce to a single 10-man. This is pretty cool, especially if you have the Dominion box, right? Because if you have the Dominion box, you got the Lord Imperatant. You've got 3 Annihilators with baby hammers. You have Andrasta. You would have all the thing that's cool about this is all the other Thunderstrike stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All the Thunderstrike stuff. Oh, I guess the Knight Judicator. Yeah. But almost all the Thunderstrike stuff that's not in the Dominion box is in here. And getting those dragons would be super cool. I don't know. This one is, for our purposes, the most tempting because I do want more. Yeah, for me, I do want more battle line because the only battle line we have right now are the stabby Vindictors. And we have Sequitors, but I'm not a big fan of the Sequitors.
What? You loved them back in 2.0.
Well, now there's better stuff. There's better stuff.
Liberators.
So, yeah, so I'm tempted. I don't know that I'll get this one. I'm tempted, though. It also sort of depends on price, right? So as of the recording of this video, they haven't released the prices. In the past, they've been about $200 to $210. So that would make some of these very good deals because all of these are in the $300 plus range. So, you're getting a good discount, but only if you want the models, right? You don't want to just buy these boxes because you can't pass up a deal and then have a bunch of useless plastic taking up room in your house. If you want the models or you want to start this force, almost all of these are pretty good investments.
Also, read the first. What's the most Christmassy sound? Jingle bells? The red gobbo sneaking down from the chimney? Nah, it's a bunch of squigs all going boing.
All going boing?
Boing.
So, yeah, definitely if any of those factions are of interest to you, definitely check them out. I anticipate they will be pretty good deals. Now, of course, dropping $200 on a box is not nothing. That's not particularly inexpensive.
Particularly.
But for a couple of these are pretty tempting. Especially if you don't have the big models. Each one sort of comes with a bigger model, which is sort of cool. Sometimes
you get a king piece.
They've done that before. Like last year, they had the Tzeentch one, and it had a Lord of Change in it.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But they don't always do that. A lot of times, they don't have a main model, and almost all of these have sort of a big model in them. So that is pretty cool to see, and gives you sort of an instant centerpiece with your army, which is really nice.
Imagine the next Battleforce, if the Gloomspite still haven't come out by then, is just every different Battleforce of squigs we can have, possibly. That
is all the squigs. That's what this one is.
I mean, like every different kind of Gloomspite faction. So we take up 4 Battleforce boxes doing that.
Just doing Gloomspites, various Gloomspites.
So then we know it's coming.
Well, I think that's what's on our radar for Christmas, and
Bing.
Hopefully, good radar.
Bing.
And so hopefully, maybe we'll get some of this. Maybe we'll just be happy with our Gothrocker and Ogors. But if not, then it's always cool to look at the models and be tempted. Even if we're not going to get these ones, I like the little temptation of, ooh, what could I get?
Slanesh. Slanesh is here.
That was last year. No Slanesh this year. But anyway, this has been another episode of Battle Ready.
Ready.
Thanks so much for watching.